Are you worse than average?
People are probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but pretty girls hang out with pretty girls because you can't take...
Girl, you're average looking. You're just skinny and white.
Average, a term we all use to define normalcy in our daily lives. The average height of males is 5'9", for females, 5'4". The average personal income in the US is $59,000 in 2022. The average weight of an adult woman in the US is 170 pounds. But when it comes to looks, what does average even mean? Does it seem like the average is becoming less and less average? Spoiler alert, you've been exploited with a false sense of average. We all have. Welcome back into a video where we dive into the curse of looking average. Is becoming more and more polished, idealized, digitized, making more and more women and men feel like they look below average. As we all know, beauty is very much subjective. But as humans living in a social setting, our subjective conscious and unconscious are nevertheless influenced by so many factors, including, of course, media. Through social comparison, we constantly assess how we are doing compared to people around us, including the people on our screens. Are we making enough money? Are we cool enough? Are we stylish enough? Are we pretty enough? And although we all have very different benchmarks due to be influenced by different people and social groups, our brains always help us keep track of the scores of all the different people we encounter and do a calculation. Are we at least better than the average? Or are we the data point that drags the average down?
I did this to myself. I do this to myself. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know.
But spoiler alert, you've been lied to about what is the average, the normal. So here are 5 reasons why you should forget about adhering to the average. Time to uncover the not so pretty truth. Definition of average. According to the Merriam-Webster, average is defined as being about midway between extremes or not out of the ordinary. To set the ground for a clear picture of how skewed the average is currently for women's appearances, we need a quick stats 101. This will be quick, I promise. Average, aka the arithmetic mean, is defined by the sum of all values divided by the number of items in the set. Under a standard normal distribution, the average, aka the mean, is the same as the median, the middle point, and mode, the most occurring point. But that is rarely the case in real life. Hence, a skew curve is more accurate in today's setting. Today, the average level of attractiveness is not representing the middle point in between two extremes. In this positively skewed distribution, we have a few very attractive people who are the mode that raise the average to an unrealistically high level. Notice how the average is no longer the middle point, but further out right than the median that has a much lower value. In a positively skewed distribution, because a few high values raise the average and shifted the mean to the right. But we tend to believe that the average is the middle ground because A, these super attractive outliers appear way more often in our quote-unquote realities thanks to social media and marketing. B, these elevated attractiveness have been boosted in ways that we think belong to the natural beauty. Why you should forget about average pretty. First, artificial natural beauty.
What we need to do now is get focused and stop pointing fingers. You're a problem. You're a real problem.
I'm into a no makeup because I cannot stand the crazy contour, the highlight cheeks, the lashes. Aren't you supposed to look pretty and not like a clown?
Cinema is the place to spark creativity. And part of that creativity is how to make women appear flawless and glowing in a bed rise scene when the whole production crew is behind the soft, glowing, natural beauty. The state of perfection of women at all times got romanticized since cinema began and eventually got reinforced so much that it became part of our expectations for women. Moving from the big screen to our phone screens is where the lines of reality really gets blurred. Social media is the exciting peeking hole into everyone's private lives, giving a sense of realness. Celebrities, supermodels, influencers, everyday people. You see them in the most raw and authentic ways possible without staging, scripting, and studio lights on the big screens. A real scoop of realness. Or so we thought. Starting from celebrities showing their glass skin, glowy, bare face, then looking like a completely different person from the paparazzi photos, to influencers showing their blemish-free face with no texture, but being human also understandably have pores. To everyone and their mom on TikTok harboring a digital face through the strongest AI foundation filters that look more real than your real skin. Second, why put yourself at a disadvantage?
Proof that social media is fake.
This is not to criticize anyone for ever editing their photos, wearing makeup, using a filter to feel more beautiful and confident. Heck, I've done all three of the above. But because we see these perfect, fine-tuned versions of beauty so much, we forget that real human traits like pores, acne, dark circles are just as real and normal and natural. It is just that when everyone is doing something to enhance their so-called quote-unquote natural bare-faced looks, the bar or average for that gets pushed to a whole new level. Why would anyone want to put their 100% natural face out there compared against a photoshopped, filtered, and slightly touched up face? It's like biking against a Ferrari. And hence we begin the deadly cycle of chasing the new average, the beauty on steroids. Before we talk about the remaining 3 reasons why you should ditch the curse of following the average, let us chat about how to be uniquely magnetic with the help of thrifting through ThredUp. I always find the rarest styles on ThredUp, and the best part is the style revamp is wallet and environment friendly. The Calvin Klein blazer I've been wearing this whole video is so versatile and timeless that I got at $16. I love pairing it with this unique belt thrifted from ThredUp. Such a rare find. This red Tommy dress perfect to pair with these Burberry sunglasses. Estimated retail at $139 that I snatched at $16. Or this beautiful baby blue pattern skirt from Club Monaco, originally $203 but $19 at ThredUp. ThredUp now has a feature where people can share their favorites, and you can shop my holiday favorites with the link below and use code ZOE for an extra 40% off your first order. The third reason of why you should forget about the average: homogeneity of beauty sells.
Is anyone else noticing it, or is it just me? Why are we all becoming the same person? Like, every girl that I see on the internet when I'm walking down the street, I feel like everybody looks the same. Either everyone has the same plastic surgeon or is getting their lips done from the same person.
Beauty trends have come and gone like the trends in fashion. 1 year, thin eyebrows may be in, while 2 years after, boy brows are all the rage. Matte lips, then glossy lips, then natural lips, and so on. But what's concerning me right now is that with the boom of TikTok, these trends are cycling through much faster, and the virality festers stronger than the season's flu. A reminder to drink water and stay healthy. But given how powerful the TikTok algorithm has become, beauty in the modern age is becoming more and more homogenous. Every trending TikTok girly is wearing the same lip gloss. Every it girl has the same snatch face shape. Every girl on the app you see begins using the same filter, to the point that everyone is getting the same Barbie nose surgery. It just scares me a little to think about what is next. And it also worries me the underlying message it speaks, especially for younger users who start to think that their beautiful natural features are not pretty because they are not represented on the apps. Hence, wanting to lose their original features to lean closer to normalcy. Thus, the more people lean into the average standard of beauty, the more the people who don't already fit in want to change themselves to at least be average. This is not to say that beauty trends aren't fun and you can't experiment with your looks. By all means, we are the ultimate owners of our face and body. But there is a difference between, oh, I see 10 pretty girls on TikTok today and I feel inspired to draw my eyeliner this new way, versus I see 10 girls who look very much the same who I think are pretty on TikTok and I feel like an ugly piece of trash because everyone is prettier than me and I hate my features and just want to look like them. Fourth, featurism.
Face of the city, bitch, that's why you mad.
Even though there's been huge improvements, I still think there's a big lack of diversity in what it means to be beautiful nowadays. The definition of normal and average is still so narrow and lacking. The TikTok beauty algorithm is ingrained with colorism, featurism, and is still very much leaning heavily into favoring Eurocentric beauty standards. This is even more true in the consumer space. Because when the consumer who does not look like the Eurocentric thin white women they see on the ads, this feeling of alienation from quote-unquote normal, from the quote-unquote average, drives the desire to buy whatever that serves the empty promise of reaching and surpassing average beauty. As social media united us into one global community, our realities have meshed with billions of strangers online, and normal has been defined and redefined by a larger group of people than ever. But what remained true from history is that Eurocentric ideals are still the beauty ideals, just now applied on a larger group of people who falsely think that the average is what they see online, without realizing that what the algorithm serves to them is the illusion that they are abnormal, that beauty only has one look. You're either it or you're not.
No, do you understand? Like, I'm the ugliest girl in school. Do you get that in your skull?
Fifth, no one is the average. It's funny how so much of our lives as humans, we pay so much attention to the average to check if we are normal, to check if we are faring above or below the average. But want to hear a secret? No one is the average. In 1945, a Cleveland newspaper held a contest to find the woman whose measurements were closest to average. This average was based on a study of 15,000 women by Dr. Robert Dickinson. Out of 3,864 contestants, no one was the average on all 9 factors, meaning as the wonderfully complicated humans we are, we cannot be simply defined by a number derived from a large sum. Celebrities you see are not the average. Influencers you follow are not the average. TikTok users with the AI filters are not the average. You are not the average. And want to hear another secret? There is no limit to your worth. Not just how much you value your attractiveness, but also your impact, your drive, your character. And that speaks to your confidence level. I don't know about you, but whenever I see a confident person, no matter their gender, skin, size, height, face shape, no shape, shade of their eyeshadow, I think, damn, they look good. And I see in their confident smile that they know that too. You are not average. You are better than that. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Remember that you can get 40% off your first order at ThredUp with code Zoe with the link below. I appreciate you always. If you're new to the channel, I make a lot of commentaries and growth related videos, so check them out and I will see you next week.